And welcome, everybody. Good to have you and you and you and you and everybody all around the world watching live. It is terrific to have you with us. It is Sunday, and I hope you're having a good day and maybe a good evening or good morning, wherever you are, because we have an audience that is literally all around the world. And I see comments coming in already. So we're going to get to all of those in just a minute. But first, we want to welcome you to the Jim Masters Show Live. This is an entertainment lifestyle talk show series that we launched. What's going to be, we are on the eve of our 9th week, which is extraordinarily amazing to me because of the fact that we built this set. We created this whole thing 9 weeks ago, and you guys have been with us since day one. And we have so many people who have been watching literally from all around the world. And I think that's pretty cool. And thanks for everybody sharing the links, having watch parties, tagging each other, telling everybody about the show, because we do this show every single night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, comes out of our home studio here. And it's all about, as we say, light, levity, and love. Or the word that we created last week haphazardly, lovity. We were saying levity and love at the same time, slipped up, and we created the word lovity. And so many of you have fallen in love with the word lovity. So we use that now as part of our not branding, but just part of the show. And I think that's really, really cool. And you guys love it so much. So welcome to the show, wherever you are. Again, I am your host, Jim Masters. If you're just joining us for the first time, I'm a professional television and radio host, journalist, actor, writer, producer, stage MC, voiceover narrator, and this, that, and the other thing. I've been doing it for a long time. And this is an entertainment lifestyle talk show series designed to put smiles on people's faces. That's right. We inspire, we educate, we inform, we have a lot of fun. We've got a cast of characters here. We have great guests, and I have a phenomenal guest that's going to be joining me in just a moment. And then later in the show, we have Viewer of the Week. And the Viewer of the Week is going to be announced, and that viewer is going to be on with us live. That's right. So it's really exciting. In the 8 o'clock hour, our viewer is going to be live. We're going to announce that person, and then hopefully that viewer will be able to get on live with us here, and that'll be terrific. So good to have you with us. How have you been doing this weekend? We were out and about. We did a nice brisk walk along the coast. It was absolutely beautiful. And then all of a sudden the skies opened up, and it was like torrential rain and lightning. In some areas they said hail. So it was, again, a cooling off period a little bit, but so beautiful along the coast this Sunday. Really, really nice. And wherever you are, I hope you're having a good day. I hope you've got a smile on your face, because if you don't, if you had a rough day, we're going to put a smile on your face today with this live show beaming all across the world. And again, we have a global audience too, which is really, really cool. And we thank everybody for that. Keep telling everybody, share the links, have watch parties, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're broadcasting right now on YouTube at Jim Masters TV, and also on Facebook at Jim Masters TV as well concurrently. So if you want to subscribe to the channel, that's the YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Love it. Want to click like on the fan page, Jim Masters TV on Facebook? Love it. You can also find me on Instagram and on Twitter too at Jim Masters TV. We are on every single night. Boy, did I sign up for that? I guess I did. Every single night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Now, if you're joining us for the first time, hey, it's cool to have you here. Tell your friends. Every show is different. We've got amazing guests, but also Last night, we had a show where it was just viewer interaction. We were talking to folks all around the world because this is a talk show, and it was really, really cool. And we hit on so many different topics and so much light, levity, and love. We always toast to the audience. So everybody watching all around the world in United States, Canada, Europe, Asia, our friends in Australia watching right now, New Zealand, we hear from everybody. We toast to you and you and you and you and you. It's awesome to have you with us tonight on the Jim Masters Show Live. To our friends in Australia, we say good day, good morning. I know you're probably having your breakfast. It's already Monday. So since it's already Monday in Australia, give us a hint. Is Monday okay? Because if Monday's rotten, we're just going to stay here in Sunday if Monday's not so good. So friends in Australia and down under, as you're getting ready for your winter and we're here in summer here, let us know how Monday is. And if Monday's not so hot, we're going to stay with our nice weekend here on Sunday. Of course, we have our cast of regulars. There is your George Burns. If you're looking at the show for the first time, we welcome you. Good to have you with us on the Jim Masters Show train, as it's called. Our viewers actually dubbed it the Jim Masters train. This is George Burns, the comedian. He's got his cigar, his glasses. He's been making quite a few appearances. He's sort of my sidekick, the Ed McMahon. How did he end up on the show? We did a nostalgic week, almost 8 weeks ago already. And we brought out all our childhood toys and all kinds of cool stuff. And we brought this out. This was my aunt's. It was given to my cousin. My cousin gave it to me. And my aunt was a collector of dolls. And this came out on George Burns' 100th birthday, the commemorative doll. So he is my, I guess, co-host, right? And he's looking at everybody. He says hello to you and hello, everybody. How are you tonight? So he's greeting you. And I love ventriloquism too. And of course, if you're just joining us for the first time, again, the show is all about putting smiles on your faces. So there's a lot of heavy stuff going on in the world right now. So we want to do what we can to put smiles on your faces. So Jeannie is in there, and I Dream of Jeannie is in the bottle, and this is the real authentic bottle. Thing weighs a ton. Jeannie, how you doing in there? She's a little tired. She just got back from Baghdad. She was visiting her father and mother for Father's Day, so she's a little tired. She finally got her hair done. She was quarantined in here since March because the hair salons were closed. She lost her powers for 3 months because she was quarantined in here. She just got the powers back, so she's just laying low. You doing all right? Yes, master. So she's in there. Maybe you can see her sitting on the couch there, sleeping or sort of nodding off, not sleeping yet. So Jeannie's in there. Jeannie gives her best. She's on every night. And of course, if I do not mention these other characters, people will write in and say, where are the other ones? So we were on a TV shoot. We got this in Switzerland when we were in Europe on a TV shoot. There's your friend. I know you love to see the Silver Canine. There is Silver. Yeah, he's one of our mascots. He keeps an eye on things, makes sure he makes sure that we're all doing what we're supposed to be doing here at the Jim Masters Show. So there's your friend Silver. And there's one more cast of characters. I tell you, we go all out here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Light, levity, and love, or as we call it, lovity. There's your friend Jimmy. He says hello as well. Again, this was a childhood toy. Look at those feet, huh? All made of porcelain. And there he is. Look at that face. I tell you, one day, if I am out sick or I'm on vacation, I might have him host the Jim Masters Show Live. Little Jimmy, what do you think? So he's there. He says hello. He's doing all right. He wishes you the best. And one more, as we mentioned on the Jim Masters Show Live, this is entertainment, lifestyle, and talk shows. So we like to have a lot of fun here, even though sometimes we get into some heavy topics, deep topics. I mean, the show is really everything. Food, music, we do it all. A little lights, camera, and action. We go Hollywood here on the Jim Masters Show Live. So let's go together. Lights, camera, and action. And now the show starts. So good to have you with us. I hope your day is going well. Welcome to the show. We are live, beaming all across the globe. Where do we originate from? This is the home studio. We built this set. And I used some of my television background with some of the way the set is, and we've tweaked it and doing a lot of things with it. But the show originates from the greater New York area, between New York and Boston, and then beams out to the rest of the world. We've got a very special guest coming on in just a second. You're going to really, really love him. If you saw the promo and the press that we did earlier all over Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, you know, we try to keep you abreast of who the guests are coming on the show. This is our guest, and he's absolutely amazing. Jean-Pierre Giangolo, and he is extraordinary. He's an actor. He's a comedian. He is an impressionist. He's a freestyle rapper. He's a DJ. He's also a parapsychologist as well. And we're going to talk about some of those cool things that he is so involved in. And I think it's just awesome to have somebody like that on the show. Good guy. He's a fellow kindred spirit in terms of being a high-level empath, which is somebody who's relatively empathetic towards society and people and caring for others. And, when somebody's in pain, we tend to feel their pain a lot. We understand it, a little intuitive. He's very, very much that way as well. So we were chatting about that before we went live on the air, and we almost sounded like we were talking to a mirror with each other in so many different ways about how we look at life and how we see things. So he's going to be joining us in just a second. First, as we always like to do, this is a very viewer-centric, viewer interactive show. And I love to do that in my professional television work, radio work, and here on the Jim Master Show Live. So we're going to welcome our audience, our fabulous audience from all around the world. And let's see, we've got Willie in Holland, the Netherlands. There you go, Willie. I know you like when I do the Dutch tulips there for you. So there you go. Put a smile on your face. Hope you had a beautiful day. Good luck with the show. I've not been able to take a nap, but I try to stay awake. Your guest seems very interesting. Yes, he is. Little history on our guest here, or our audience viewer. Willie is in Holland, the Netherlands. Right now, it's like 12 minutes after 1 a.m. in Europe, especially in Holland. And she tries to take naps during the day so she can wake up in time for our show, which starts at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. But in the Netherlands, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. That is a dedicated viewer. Thanks, Willie. We appreciate that. And thanks for all the posts during the day and all the love. I appreciate all the love, all the blessing, all the joys, the Facebook messages, the tweeting, everything that you guys are doing in reference to the show. I see everything. I read it all, try to respond to as much as I can, and I love it. Hello, Jim. Hi, all. Happy Sunday. Good to see you, Renee, in Iowa, USA. And here is Margie Inman from Vancouver. This one is so long, it's gonna. Oh, remember, I did this once before, where you only see the top of my hat. So we're gonna do it that way. It's kind of funny, isn't it? And I'm like the masked man. I'm like this guy that's just hidden. You never see the host. Margie is in Vancouver, Washington. Hi, Jim. You made us forget what is happening in the outside world. Well, I'm happy to hear that. You have taken us into a place called Jim Master's Paradise of Love, Peace, and Harmony. Wow. I love that too. Uniting all of us as one in the spirit of unconditional love. We now call it Lovity. Exactly. And that's, you're spelling it the way that we want to spell it. Some people say, why don't you spell it Lovity? No, we want to keep the E in for love. So it's Lovity. And that's kind of exclusive to what we're doing here on the show. Jim, you have a beautiful soul filled with love, compassion for people. May you know all of his fans love you dearly. We thank God for his divine appointment leading us to you. All of your fans are now written in your book of life. You. Wow. I don't know how we're going to top that, Margie. Wow. The rest of the people I come across the rest of this week are going to have to really work hard to top that. Very beautiful words. And that's very caring and very meaningful for you to say that. And that really touches me. I appreciate it. To hear comments like that this show really impacts you that way. Again, as somebody who does this work professionally and just launching this 9 weeks ago as of tomorrow, that means a lot. And again, the word has spread about this show. We've got so many people that are colleagues of mine in television and film and music and all around, chefs and sports people and entertainers and scientists and life coaches and so many people that want to be on this show. We're actually booked all the way till September. We had 2 more people book on the show today on Sunday. Sunday, they hooked in and said, we want to be on the show. And that's awesome. Just keep spreading the word. I appreciate it. Hello from Indiana, Barbara Conrad. Great to have you in Indiana watching. You're going to love our guest. He was supposed to be on last night. I know that some people were waiting for him last night. Technology and all of that got in the way. So we scrambled. We moved some things around because I knew you were going to fall in love with him. I knew you were going to really enjoy his story. And we moved some things around so we can keep him on this weekend. We wanted him on this weekend, but to have him on tonight's show. Usually we don't do a guest on Sunday. We do them on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Sometimes we do that Saturday night disco ball and we have fun on Saturday night interacting with you and all kinds of comedy and fun stuff. Sunday, usually it's viewer of the week. And then we do some other on location stuff. I take you on location, took you to Red Rocks in Denver. I took you to the Netherlands. I took you to see the Brady Bunch house. We took you to LA and Malibu, all these cool places. We take you along the coast here in the Northeast. But we wanted to get him on the show tonight, and he was able to move some things around on his end too to join us tonight. We appreciate that. So good to see you, Barbara in Indiana. Good to see you, Marilyn in Kansas. There in Wichita. Good to have you with us as well. Yes, Willie, there in Holland. Success tonight. Linda says hello from Florida. Love your show. Thank you very much, Linda. We love you. We'll keep doing this as long as you guys are out there and spreading the word. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Tell people about the YouTube channel. I love that. I also subscribe back. So if you have a channel, I will subscribe to your channel as well. Fan page, I will like your fan page as well if you have one. If you don't have one, just join us here. And more comments. We were predicted to have Sahara dust, but it didn't happen. Oh, yeah, you guys were supposed to get that Sahara dust that came over from the desert. It's amazing how it traveled over the ocean and then came up the southeast coast. Texas and Louisiana and all those areas got hit with that. And somebody was watching, I think Ronnie was watching last night from San Antonio, and he said that they were covered in the Saharan dust. That's really good if it missed you there, Barbara, there in Kansas. I think it went all the way up and then maybe to Oklahoma and then stopped. If you create it, they will be there. Well done. Thank you, Karen, watching on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. That's where we are originating from as well. And let's see, Margie Inman says in Vancouver, Washington, hey, mate, my toast to you with this Stibby Holder koozie. Well, that's cool. Ernestine in North Carolina says, hi, Jim and friends. And yes, Sherry Lee Leonard in the greater New York area. Yes, Master logged on. Yes, Master logged on. Yes, Master, like the Jimmy Genie bottle, right? And Renee Katz, who's going to be joining us very soon as a special guest. Wonderful performer, singer, and more. A beautiful spirit. Happy Sunday evening to you in Queens, New York, in Flushing, Queens, New York. Can't wait to chat with you soon and welcome you on. And Jacqueline Caputo says, hi, Jim and everyone. It's great to see everybody here. Continue to spread the word. Tell your friends. Text your friends right now. We're on. Tell them, hey, we're on right now live. There's nothing really good on TV right now and nothing else on social media that's as good as this. And our special guest coming up. Hi, Jim. Hi, everyone. Kathleen, our Queen of Queens, New York. Good to see you, Kathleen. I know it's too bad we can't go see the Mets at Citi Field. We can't go into Manhattan to have dinner, and because, not yet. We will soon. Kathleen and I were actually on the Rachel Ray show about a year ago. We posted a picture. We were in the studio and we were there with Rachel Ray. And it was really cool during one of her episodes. I don't know if you caught that episode. I'll have to bring that picture back up. But it was cool to see Rachel doing her thing. Hi, Willie. Yes, that's Willie. Renee saying hi to Willie in Holland. Everybody's saying hello to each other. And it's great to have you here. And June Rachelson Aspa says, hiya, it's good to see you as well, June. And big day for you as well. We'll talk about that a little bit later. I can't wait to do that. And Sherry Lee Leonard says, so sweet. And let's see. Wilson on home improvement. Yes. Oh, yeah. Wilson on home improvement. You mean when I was reading Margie Inman's comment and my head was blocked and you only saw the top of the head, the hat? That was like Wilson on home improvement, who was always talking over the fence there, but you never really saw his face. I like that. That's a really good. And June says hi all as well. So we've got lots to do today because we have a very busy show. There's a lot of elements to the show today, and I'm so excited to have all of you here. And again, I want to tell you who my very special guest is. I see more comments coming in here. My guest is a guy that does a lot of cool stuff, and boy, are we excited to have him here. Yeah, there you see his name, Jean-Pierre Giangolo, and we are so happy to have him here because he is very excited to be here too. He made sure he spread the word. Actor, comedian, freestyle rapper, impressionist, parapsychologist. If you're not sure what that is, we'll talk about it as well. He's a very spirited person. He's very inspired. He's very excited about life, kind of like I am too, as you've witnessed on these shows and maybe in my professional work on TV and radio as a personality, but he's somebody who really sees life through a unique lens. And he's been through a lot in his life. He shares that openly as well. He's somebody who is always looking to put a smile on people's faces, and he's a storyteller. And we were just talking about that before we went live on the air, how I'm a storyteller too. I'm a born communicator. I'm very communal. I like to feed off the energy of others and give it back tenfold. He does that. Jean-Pierre does that as well through his crafts and his artistry, through acting and being a comedian and so much more. And he has a passion and a need. When you're a communicator, you have a real desire. Singers do as well. A lot of people, when you're a communicator, you need to do the work. When Mike Casey was on the other night, my dear friend who's a saxophonist and musician, brilliant musician, saxophonist, he said, remember I asked him that question as far as, why do you do what you do, blah, blah, blah. And he said, he has to. He said he has to play the sax. He has to do music. It's in him. It's his calling. It's his way of communicating with people. It's not something he can even question. Same thing with me too, with what I do on air as a host and broadcaster and more. You're drawn and called to do this work. Same thing with Jean-Pierre. He's called to do the work that he does. So it's really awesome to have him here on the show. And we're going to welcome him live and direct from sunny California here on the show. Jean-Pierre, good to have you with us. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you very much for having me, Jim. I appreciate it.
So how are things going in sunny California today? Were you outside, out and about? Is it beautiful there today?
It's a little gloomy, actually. We're looking at some rain tonight, but I mean, it's nice. It's nice and cool. The weather's like a good temperature. Definitely not out and about. We got a lot of restrictions here in California. So, and I'm a high risk person with type 2 diabetes, so I have to be extra careful during these times as well. So.
Yeah. But you like I said, you're a very positive person, as I try to be as well. And you try to inspire people. Before we break down some of the cool things you've done in your career, I want people to really, and this is something I always like to do when I chat with people, and I don't even call it an interview. To me, these are conversations. I want people to be left with a true essence of who Jean-Pierre is. So what are some of the things that inspire you to do the incredible stuff that you do all the time and every day, Jean-Pierre?
Yeah, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I think there's a lot of inspiration for me to do what I do. I think one of the biggest things, and it's a little bit dark, but I created beauty from that darkness, is I actually was severely abused by my family growing up, and I wasn't allowed to express myself in the home. I wasn't allowed to have my own ambitions and dreams, and my abuser really shut a lot of that down for me. But it still was, you said it perfectly earlier, you're called to it. You can't stop. It's part of your soul. It's part of your energy. I always imitated my favorite musical artists, my favorite comedians, my favorite, voice actors. It was such a big passion for me that it just was always there. And I used it as an outlet to express myself when I didn't have that outlet in the household. So when I wrote music, or when I danced, or when I sang, or when I, wrote jokes, that was my way of letting it all out. And I think that was the first inspiration to express myself. And then as I got older and went out in the world and learned about other people, I really wanted to inspire people, because I felt the way I treated people reacted to me positively. There was, like, if I worked somewhere and somebody was being mistreated, I would be friendly to those people, and they would write me letters when we would part, whether we quit the job or moved. And they said, you being nice to me really inspired me. I was going through a dark time in my life, and you just saying a few kind words to me made all the impact. And I realized that was very important. And it's what I do with all my creative outlets, is I really try to inspire. I try to get you to think, react, feel some emotion. And that's really important for me. I think, again, my biggest thing is I would love to inspire future generations to be better, to let their kids, parents to let their kids, allow their kids to be who they want to be, and have that passion, have that drive, and find their calling in life and go after it, and really, really, truly want people to be happy. Because I think that's missing. People always ask how you're doing, or what you're doing, or how much you make, and all these side questions, but they never ask, are you happy? And that's a famous quote I've heard many times, but it's something I really do think about. And I don't remember many people asking me that question, are you happy? And I think that's a very vital and important question in human beings. And I think we need to ask that more often to people, is, are you happy?
So that leads me to my next question, Jean-Pierre. Are you happy?
I am. I am in a very happy place in life, even with the chaos in the world.
Yeah.
Even though I could describe myself as an empath, and other people have described me as such, and the world's in turmoil right now, and
Yeah.
I feel for the people that are suffering. You know, one of my biggest fears, because I'm an abuse victim, is the people that are trapped in quarantine with their abusers. I can't imagine what that could be like right now, and I really want to send positive vibes to those people and try to give them, you know, some sort of hope, some sort of light at the end of the tunnel, because we're in a difficult time, and I feel all that tension, all that pressure. And yeah, that's kind of what it is right now for me.
So, in your journey of life through that, how were you able to transition from that experience to break away from that, to break through that, to see the light at the end of the tunnel that allowed you to grow and blossom and see the essence truly and live the essence of the authentic self, representing who you truly are? How were you able to break through that? That could be very inspirational for somebody watching right now who might still be in that stuck scenario with somebody who's being controlling and maybe abusive as well. How did you break through and break away?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I kind of mentioned it earlier, but it's where it started was me finding outlets to express myself that were constructive and not destructive. So having music, having comedy, having my imitations, my impersonations, my sarcasm, my humor, all those things were coping mechanisms for me while I was dealing with the negative things. And I
Yeah.
really think that kept me from really breaking down and losing myself. And to be honest, I only left my abusive family at the end of 2019. It was actually very recent that I really came to terms with all of this, because honestly, until now, I didn't even realize it was abuse. My younger brother, who also was living in that situation, uh, got a girlfriend and got into a relationship, and this girl had been a victim of abuse as well, and she saw it and she called it like it was. She told us bluntly, and she's a writer and a poet, so she was able to really construct her words. She actually let us see how toxic and negative our family environment was, but she did it eloquently and in such a way that it actually impacted us with the words she used.
Yeah.
And it really hit us. You know, it hurt because we had to come to terms with that. This isn't a positive thing and it wasn't okay. But at the same time, it opened our minds to see what it was. And you know, it's hard when you're manipulated to believe that family is the most important thing when they did, I mean, really horrible things to us. um, and it was getting over the guilt that you feel for maybe cutting negative people off in your life. And I think an important thing to remember, and what I preach now to people, is don't leave with hate or resentment. When I left my abusive family, I left with love. I told them, I wish you happiness, health, and love, and all the best things. But in order for me to have that, I need to leave this situation. And if you truly love me, you'll understand. And there's no hatred with me leaving or resentment to you for what you did. You have your own reasons for that, but I need to heal and move on by leaving. And I left again with that peace of mind, that peace that, you know what, I love you. I send positivity your way because negativity is not going to solve this.
Right.
So here's love. Here's all my best to you. And it's time to move on for both of us. And I think that's very important, because a lot of my life, my dad left when I was 2 years old. And up until I met him a couple years ago, my abuser painted this image of a man who was horrible and abusive and negative and like everything that was wrong with the world. Not only that, I look exactly like him and he's an entertainer just like me. And my abuser disliked him so much, I think she literally tried to beat his energy out of me because she's so authoritarian. So I think that was part of it. But once meeting him, I came to find out a whole new story, that she abused him as well, and that's what
Wow.
caused him to unfortunately get involved with drugs and alcohol. And it destroys a person when you tear them down for their passions. Because my
Right.
dad's as passionate as I am,
Right.
and man, just to meet him, the love and support he gave me, just meeting him and knowing who he was, I always felt like a black sheep in my family. But once I met him, everything made sense. I was like, you know, when they say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, it's like I never left the tree. It was really an amazing experience to finally feel, I finally felt complete and whole. I always felt I was missing something in life. And
Mm.
when I met my father, it was like, wow, this is what I had been missing, that support and that love for the artist I am. Um, so yeah, and then what it was is, again, cutting them off, but cutting them off peacefully with love, not cutting them off and saying negative things to them or bad things should happen to them. No, I said, I leave with peace and love. I leave with positivity. I don't leave with negativity. Even though we discuss the bad things that happened, I still leave with positivity. And I think that helped me. Forgiveness, I realized, and this is a big thing, and I think a lot of people don't understand about what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is really not for the other person, it's for yourself. So you don't hold on to that negativity and that resentment, whatever it is you may hold on to from those negative situations. A better way to phrase it would be, the negative that happens is something for you to learn from and move forward. Right. And move forward with the positive and learn from the negative and move forward instead of holding on to it like it's a crutch or something that really tore you down. It's something to learn from. Okay, I don't like being treated this way. I don't like being talked to this way. And remember that and move on and in a positive light. So I think that overall is the complete picture of how I move forward. And included in that is the fact that I quit a steady job that had health benefits and everything to go after my dreams. I couldn't do it anymore. My work environment was just as abusive as my home environment was. And I wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't happy. And I quit. I got a role in the movie Ford versus Ferrari. And my career started blossoming, commercials, TV shows, all kinds of stuff. Because I took a risk. I took the biggest risk. And I was scared. There was no income when I quit. There was nothing. There was no guarantee. But I allowed myself to just be who I need to be. And it's like you put that positive energy out and it comes back at you. So.
Which is amazing. Absolutely. So let's talk about the background. Like you said, you had the entertainment understanding and appreciation from your father. When did you first make your entree into the world of entertainment? Was the acting first, the music first? Tell us what came first and then how you led your journey of life through all of that and the progression of all of that.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely started very young, but not necessarily for groups of people. I was pretty isolated. It was just my family. Another trait my abuser had was to isolate us. So we had no gauge of what was right or wrong with other people because we were so isolated just with our immediate family. Right. But I used to imitate Michael Jackson's dance moves, and I got them down really good and perfected them, and everybody was impressed, like a family, friends who would see me do it, neighbors, whoever. So I just noticed I had a knack for imitating a lot of my favorite, and music was definitely the first one. That's when I started moving and dancing and singing and kind of like playing around performing for myself. And then I started imitating a lot of the comedians I saw. In the positive side of my family, they let me stay up late and watch Saturday Night Live and Johnny Carson and things like that. And I learned and I imitated those people. Groucho Marx and the Marx Brothers used to imitate Groucho Marx when I was very little and stuff. So it started with me just imitating a lot of what I saw. Then in junior high is when it became a bigger thing. So I had always been pretty shy and introverted. I was bullied in school to top it off. Yeah. So that made me very introverted, but a counselor suggested I join an extracurricular activity, and I joined choir in junior high. I started performing on stage and singing. Luckily, it was with a group of people, so being an introvert, that was a good step to perform without having to feel the pressure of like everybody's looking at me. But whenever I stepped on a stage, the nervousness went away, the fear went away, and I was just able to, I felt like be. And so that was the first step, and I liked it. And then eventually, because I loved writing my own jokes, writing rap lyrics myself, and I did a lot of this on my own. But because I was performing so much in choir, I just said, I really love this. I'm going to get into drama too. So I joined drama and choir. So I was performing in plays and started performing that way. And I always dreamed of being like my favorite comedians and performing too. So senior year of high school, and I was very shy back then. I signed up to do the senior talent show. My teacher convinced me to do a solo song. So I was going to sing an Elvis Presley song solo. And I only practiced by myself, even though I was going to perform in front of everybody. I made my teacher just practice with me solo in the choir room with no one else around because I was still very shy. So me and my best friend pretty much were the only two performing on this senior talent show. And everybody had kind of got wind that I do a lot. So the administrators and students approached me and said, hey, like, we hear you do a lot, man. You should do your comedy too. And you should do this too. And me and my best friend ended up saving the senior talent show because they were going to cancel it. And ended up performing so many different things on that senior talent show. So I was an introverted guy who everybody knew because there's no other Jean-Pierres at the school. But I was still very shy. and I performed. I did all this. Everybody really got to see me, my passion, my performance, my humor, my voice, everything that I was. And I literally, the last week of school, became the most popular guy in school. Everybody said they should have voted for me most likely to be famous because they didn't know I was so talented and that I did so much and that I was just, this kind of phenomenon that appeared the last week of high school.
Right. Yeah.
And that seeing the reaction of my classmates and teachers too, faculty, everybody, I knew instinctively at that point that this was what my life was supposed to be. It fed my soul. It let me express myself, and I got to touch other people with what I did, whether it was making them laugh, making them feel something when I'm singing or rapping or whatever I do. And being an empath is very important, actually, in being an entertainer, because you have to be able to read your audience, and I'm very good at that. I DJ a lot of weddings. And people always tell me, wow, you're really good at reading the crowd. You're phenomenal. Everybody loved what you did. And being so timid and with all the abuse, I never could take compliments well when I was very young. And I'm learning to do that. Like, it's okay to be good at something and not have an ego and be narcissistic like my abuser was. But in that environment, I confused confidence with narcissism because that's all I saw.
Right.
So I didn't realize there was a distinction between the two until later in life. And I just kept pursuing it. I never gave up. I had my ups and downs with depression and other things because of what I was going through. But the key was I never gave up. And then as soon as I wanted to quit my job and go after my dreams, it catapulted forward because I think I was ready. I think even with all the negative I went through, it made me the person I am. It made me caring. It made me empathetic to other people. And it made me a person that can really inspire others. And people have used that word, even though I chose that word personally for me to live by that phrase, to inspire. People tell me, you seem like an inspiring person. I'm like, wow, it's funny that I chose that word without telling people, and they use it to describe me. So that's a big part of what I do. And yeah, that's what got me there. And that's what has me, even in this pandemic and the quarantine, living to a future that I see as bright and beautiful and exciting and inspirational. And that's where I'm at.
Do you remember the first acting gig that you had? The very first one that was like the first opportunity for you?
I think there was a few, but something that was more connected to Hollywood was when I started going to college. I started taking acting classes, and I got a heads up on how to get into extra work, get an agent, and do more, professional industry gigs. I was an extra on a TV show called American Dreams. It was based on the American Bandstand show. And it was based in the 60s, but they used modern groups to perform those songs from the 60s. When I'm clean shaven and I'm all done up, for some reason I fit the 60s era very well. I always get, when I do period pieces, it's like I was born in that era. People just love it. So on that show was the first kind of star treatment I got. I went through wardrobe and makeup, and they always put me on camera. They loved my look. They were actually, I was told this by production, they were actually pinning a role for me, and then the show got canceled. So I felt like I was so close.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, like right there on the cusp. But again, I think in life, you're ready for things and you're not ready for things. I don't think I was ready at that point in my life. So everything happens for a reason. So I didn't necessarily look at it negatively, or I don't anymore. I did kind of at the time because I was still in a weird mindset. But it was still an incredible experience. To be treated the way I was, kind of like, oh, they were doing my hair and they said, oh, you got those waves, you got that movie star hair, and just the reactions I got, the way they made a big deal on set about me all the time, was probably my first little taste of it. And then I did a commercial for the Salvation Army as an abusive husband, and that was my first really like big part. And it was a last minute thing. I was doing an internship at a local TV studio, and I was co-hosting a show as well. And they realized I was an actor. They called me last minute and said, hey, can you make it down to Long Beach and shoot this commercial? And I was like, sure. And they had heard I was an actor. They didn't really know my range or anything, but I got on set, jumped in hair and makeup, did all the stuff, went to do the role, and everybody was just blown away. They said, like, you just showed up. We asked you to kiss the other actress. We didn't really give you a lot of prep time, but you were so professional. You played this character, the loving side and the anger side, so well. They were just like blown away that I had range as an actor, even though I was pretty young at the time. And I had done quite a few acting things, mostly on stage, but I did some film stuff too. And that one really inspired me more because of the reaction I got again when I performed. That's one of the biggest things I've noticed as an actor. When I step on a set and I do something, I always get these big reactions from production, and they're just like, wow, you know, I did Ford versus Ferrari, and I shot for 2 months on that movie as one of the main Ferrari guys. And, you know, to be directed by James Mangold, do a scene with John Bernthal, and to have the ADs, the director, and everybody know your name and keep calling upon you to do things on this major film was a confidence boost for me. And it just made me want to do it more. And I'm like, this is what I need to do. And that's final. Like, this is my passion. These are my dreams, and it's something not only that I love and I'm passionate about and I care about, but other people can see that when I'm doing it. So
right. Exactly. It's all part of the storytelling. Then the music part. Tell us about the music part and how you started to really express yourself and your storytelling through music as well, Jean-Pierre.
Yeah, definitely, of course, because it's a huge part of my life.
Yeah.
So it started out very young. I think music was the first thing I was really exposed to. My uncle, who I spent a lot of time with, because my father wasn't around, used to play music all the time. He liked polka, so I remember, you know, hearing polka a lot and dancing to that music just because I loved music. So that was my really first exposure to music. And then was the major event, like an earthquake, like a volcano erupted. My uncle found the Michael Jackson Bad cassette tape, and he brought it home. He found it on the street, didn't think much of it, but he said, hey, I found this cassette, and I was already getting into music. So I had a little portable cassette player that had a little speaker on it, and I played that album to death. I didn't stop playing it. I loved it. It was the first album I fell in love with, and fell in love with Michael Jackson. And it was just like mind-blowing to me as a little kid to you know, experience that music and that album at the time.
Yeah.
And so it was just, I've always just been drawn to music in that sense. Now, I never really fully got into it till I started singing in choir in junior high, and that really exposed me to notes, how music is written, things like that, that really gave me a technical perspective of music and how it's done. And I think that really, I was interested, you know, it didn't bore me. Like, it was like, okay, these notes, these are half notes, these are this and that. And like, I was intrigued by the concept of music and you know, technicalities of it. And I think that drew it more. But the biggest thing was growing up in Long Beach, California, rap and hip hop was all around. My mom, my grandmother didn't like it very much, but you couldn't not be exposed to it where I grew up. I didn't grow up in the best part of the world and in the nicest neighborhoods. So I understood rap music because there were gang shootouts on my block. You know, there was drug dealers on my block. So I knew about all that stuff. So I connected with rap because I knew exactly what they were talking about. It was all around me. And so I connected with rap in particular because they painted those pictures so vividly, and I was living in it. I was like, they're talking exactly about where I live at. So I started just kind of joking around and writing little rhymes and rewriting lyrics that I heard in my favorite songs. And in high school, I was taking an English class. I think it was might have been my junior year. My junior year in high school, we had a poetry project. So we were supposed to write a typical poem, but because I had been doing rap for so long since junior high, I was writing privately. I ended up writing this poem like a rap, and I rhymed everything, but I did it very cleverly, and I used things that I knew. So the teacher wanted to speak to me after class. So I did the project, and the teacher was very impressed. She goes, okay, this was very clever. It made me laugh. It was witty. It was clever. It rhymed. Like, you did everything. This isn't the exact project. I'm giving you full credit. I want you to redo it as the poem and the structure that I asked, but this was just very entertaining to read. No other, assignment that was turned in was as engaging as yours was. It was a story and it was clever. Like, it really spoke to me that somebody else said something like that about the way I write.
And they recognized it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so that word spread throughout the school because everybody talked about it and it went everywhere. So everybody's like, oh, you should battle people. You should do this and that. Oh, you should rap battle and battle and rap for us. And then I was very shy at the time, so it was hard for me to go, but I was still writing. My problem with writing was I grew up around that gang culture and I only knew how to write like that because that's all the music I was exposed to.
Right.
But I felt it didn't express who I was because I didn't live that lifestyle. Even though all my friends and lots of people I knew were in it, it didn't feel right to release music like that. That wasn't me. So it wasn't until college that my friend introduced me to an East Coast rapper by the name of Immortal Technique. I heard his music and it changed my life forever. He had a message in his music. He talked about political and social issues. It was really describing the way I felt about the world and how it runs. And in that moment, it clicked with me, and I said, "That's where I need to be. That's the way I need to write." And MC Pierre came out of that experience with my good friend, and it just kind of, again, catapulted from there. I started writing a lot, writing my way, expressing myself as an individual and how I thought, how I felt, and people liked it. People gravitated to it. They liked that I didn't use the F word every other word. I didn't put down women. I didn't talk about drugs and alcohol. I really had stories. I started telling stories, but about my life, whether it was frustration with relationships and dating, the political system, police brutality, whatever it was that I cared about and thought was important, people really connected and related with. Or in my best examples, I used to work for theme parks a lot. So working at Knott's Berry Farm or working at Disneyland, I made albums about working there. And all the workers, it related to them. And they all just gathered around that and were like, man, this is exactly how we all feel about the workplace. And you put it in song form. So it's really storytelling, but, really making it personal and real to what's going on. And you connect with people that way. And that really got me going, and the juices flowing with music. And by 2006, I started going out to LA a lot and actually freestyle battling, being a freestyle rapper. And I would battle a lot of other rappers and earn a reputation, respect. Sometimes you win money and other prizes. You open up for big artists. And I made a name for myself in LA doing that quite a bit, and Orange County as well. There was a big scene out there at the time. So from 06 to 08, I was actually touring locally off of a few tracks I put up on MySpace because everybody liked them. And I really made a name for myself and was doing a lot at the time. So, it just pushed me forward with music, and then I'm still doing it to this day. So
that's incredible, isn't it? It's really incredible. It's a real journey and a progression forward in your life, and you've been able to really express yourself as a storyteller, as a communicator, which I can definitely relate to. And it's like you've had this. It's a new lease on life, and you're so passionate about this new lease that you must tell it, you must express it, you must connect with people. I know how that is. And there's another area that's really fascinating to me that people might not be aware of, and they probably saw it in the description of our guest. Parapsychologist. How did you get into that world as well? And there's a PhD involved in that too, right?
Correct. Yes. So I'll tell the comedic funny part about it first. So my birthday's coming up, obviously. I was born in '84 when Ghostbusters was released. It's my favorite movie of all time. Dan Aykroyd is a big inspiration for my comedy too, and Bill Murray and all those guys were very clever and creative in their heyday. And still,
have you ever met any of them, or you hope to?
I went to Ghostbusters Fan Fest in, I think it was 2019 or 2018. I don't remember which year it was. I think it was last year, actually, 2019. And yes, I got to meet Ernie Hudson and Dan Aykroyd. Dan Aykroyd called me young man, and I'm 35, so that felt pretty good. He's like, well, you called me young man. That was cool. So yes, I have got to meet them, luckily, at that occasion. And they were walking around just like normal people, so it really worked out well, because you were just able to go up to them and talk to them and say hi. So so I was lucky enough to meet some of my heroes.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us about this journey of becoming a parapsychologist, and define that. There might be people watching saying, what is a parapsychologist? What is that all about? It's fascinating.
Yeah, definitely. So anyway, the joke about Ghostbusters is my mom was ready to pop with me, and she went to see the movie, and I was born like the next week after she saw the movie. So I always joke from the womb I was a fan of Ghostbusters. Fast forward to me enjoying that movie. I always watched it, and Peter Venkman always said, I have my PhD in psychology and parapsychology. And that really clicked with me when I watched the movie. And I was like, how do you get that degree? I want that degree. I want to be a Ghostbuster when I grow up. Even as a little kid, I said that. So my first experience was when I was 2 years old. I stayed at my grandmother's house, which was a common thing. It wasn't weird or anything. But my grandfather passed away when I was 3 months old. And I was staying in the room he passed away in. I woke up in the wee morning hours, and he was sitting in front of the bed trying to talk to me. And I didn't recognize him because I didn't really know him. Obviously, I was only 3 months old, but I recognized him from pictures I had seen. So I freaked out naturally. I didn't know what was going on, started crying, freaking out. When he noticed, or his spirit noticed, he took off into the dining room and disappeared through the wall. And I followed him, and then I ran to my grandmother's room and said, hey, I saw this. My grandmother said, oh, it's just a bad dream. My mom pushed the story further and said, yeah, it's just a bad dream. Don't worry about it. It's just your imagination. Don't get scared. So I kind of shut down a little bit because I started seeing a lot of stuff after that. And I was like, well, my family doesn't believe me. Who else is going to believe me? So I stayed quiet. And about 8 years later, my family sat me down. My grandmother said, look, we didn't want to scare you. You were very little, but we've all experienced this. When my grandmother grew up in Italy, and she said she saw stuff there her whole life and experienced that kind of thing. My mom experienced a lot of stuff. So I come from a family of sensitives. Everybody's kind of has that empathic spiritual ability to see and feel things around them. That's when it really clicked with me. I was like, okay, this is really interesting because I've been experiencing this a lot and I want to know more about it.
Right.
So a paranormal reality TV and shows weren't really big back then. You know, there's a few X-Files, Unsolved Mysteries would talk about that stuff. Sightings on Fox used to do UFOs and ghosts and stuff like that. And I love those shows, but there wasn't a lot. So I had my mom buy me a lot of books on hauntings and ghosts. And I just read a lot of books and a lot of ghost stories, a lot of real ones, a lot of made up ones. And I was just really intrigued. So by the time I got to high school, I met my best friend, and he loved the subject but had never done it. And I kind of spearheaded, like, let's go to haunted places and let's learn about it and let's do some more stuff. And it just built from there. And we started our nonprofit organization called the Southern California Paranormal Detectives in high school. We had some of our professors and teachers in high school help us write letters to like the Queen Mary and a lot of haunted places around California and ask if they would let us come in to look for ghosts and all that kind of stuff. Because the teachers were really nice and we were good students, so they helped us out. And it just kind of started from there. And then I kept thinking back to Ghostbusters. Like, I want to be a parapsychologist like Peter Venkman. He was my favorite character. I think Dan Aykroyd and Ray Stantz is my favorite character. Now, he's the heart, and I feel like I'm the heart of like he is in the movie. But regardless of that, I was getting ready to graduate high school, and USC, while I was going to high school, actually offered a program in parapsychology. And if you don't know what parapsychology is, essentially what it is, it means not psychology, but if you break it down more, parapsychology means it's outside the realm of normal psychology. You're dealing with extrasensory perception, phenomenon that's unknown to most people, and strange experiences. And that's what you really focus on when you study parapsychology. But there is a lot of psychology involved in it because you want to understand human behavior first, because you want to see what human behavior is when you encounter things that are not normal or natural every day. So if you go way back, metaphysics is actually part of the study as well. Metaphysics has a lot to do with energy, things like that. And before science split off, metaphysics was an umbrella term for things that were supernatural and scientific studies. But at one point, the more scientific side said, we only want to deal with things that are tangible, that we can test, that we can prove. And then, metaphysics is like, no, we still want to deal with stuff we can't prove because people are reporting this stuff and it's going on. So that's also a part of the study, is metaphysics and psychology is very important to the study of parapsychology and understanding kind of outside of the norm of things. So I hope that's a good explanation of what parapsychology is.
It is.
It means not psychology, just like paranormal means not normal. It's not psychology. It's almost like para is beyond normal, paranormal,
Right.
and parapsychology is beyond psychology. You're going further than the typical human behavioral type of traits. So that's kind of a lot of the stuff I studied when I studied for my PhD in parapsychology. The sad part was USC's program was no longer available when I graduated high school. It's an underfunded department in most universities when they did have it. And there was actually even the college I went to actually was on the East Coast, although they moved their headquarters to Sacramento, is Progressive Universal Life Church offered a program. And I did my undergraduate studies at Cerritos College and Cal State Fullerton here in California. And I did my other work from Progressive Universal Life Church, mostly online, but I did go to New York a few times for like my final review, my dissertation, things like that. I earned my PhD in parapsychology in 2009. It was definitely an exciting moment for me. I felt like I grew up and became a real Ghostbuster, just like Bill Murray's character did. And then we officially became a 501c3 nonprofit in 2013, officially recognized by the state. And, we don't charge for our services. People contact us and we go in and we investigate, whether it's ghosts, UFOs, Bigfoot, Chupacabra, whatever mythical things go on. People contact us and we go in and we try and help them understand what they're experiencing, validate their claims if it's legitimate. And most people just want validation that they're not crazy. That's their biggest fear, is that it's in their mind. They're seeing things that aren't there. And when you have someone who's experienced it and studied it for so many years, we come in and we give them that calm, that sense of peace that they're not getting from the rest of society, who it's still taboo, even though they say 80% of the population believes, it's still a taboo subject and a lot of people don't believe. So I think it's good to be there for people and help them out. It's part of my caregiving and mentality to help people. So there you go.
So how does it tie into the music and the acting and the freestyle rapping and everything else that you do? Are there elements of the parapsychology that weave into? Is everything sort of playing off each other in certain aspects? I think I know that answer.
Yeah, no, definitely, of course. So it's funny. I originally thought that my paranormal stuff was going to be beyond the entertainment stuff. I thought it was separate, but I came to find out it actually intertwines with everything in my life. I have stand-up comedy jokes that are about the paranormal that I've written that directly as a result of studying this stuff and having a big knowledge of it. I'm able to come up with clever ways of presenting it and humorous ways of presenting it. The project I'm working on during quarantine, which I'm working on, I have 3 albums right now I'm working on simultaneously. One of the biggest ones is I'm writing a whole rap album about the paranormal, ghosts, UFOs, all that kind of stuff. So it really does infect everything. And this album is going to be a culmination of all of that. And I'm really excited. And I don't think anybody's done anything on this scale before on the paranormal, especially intertwined with music. And one of the big things I want to do, which I have a lot of industry people behind me and excited about whenever restrictions are lifted, is when the album releases, I want to do what's called a ghost tour. I only want to tour haunted venues, perform there, and maybe do a VIP experience with my fans where we actually investigate the location after my performance or before, however it works out. But yeah, so it definitely connects to everything. And again, being part of parapsychology and the paranormal is about your feelings, is about your energy and what you feel and what you can feel. And that has to do with how you create music and how you act and how you pull for a character when you're acting, or how you express yourself with humor and jokes and stuff like that. So it all intertwines, actually.
It really, really does. It really does. I want to share some of the acting prowess through a quick reel we have here showing off some of your acting. And then we'll also sort of mosey on over to some of your comedy and some of the rapping as well. So let's take a look at Jean-Pierre's brilliant acting right now here on the Jim Master Show Live. Here we go. Enjoy, everybody. And we'll be back and we'll talk about it right after.
Give her a chance. Nobody is perfect, and sometimes people need a minute to get things down. Don't be so quick to get rid of somebody just because they're not where you want them to be at the beginning. Sometimes when you see somebody who wants it really bad and they're willing to work hard for it, it's worth it to put your time into it, to give them your encouragement, your support, and knowledge so they can improve. Let me tell you what we're going to do. We're going to give her a few weeks. Okay? See if she grows, especially if you're right there helping her improve. I don't want to give up on somebody I see that has potential. People have given up on me, and I don't want to do that to others. Let's go ahead and give me a report when we're done after these few weeks, and let's just see what happens.
Everything hand-built. Bellissimo.
Ma dove sono i cronometri? Che ne so, Enzo, dove stanno i cronometri? Dove sono i cronometri? Porca puttana!
He promised to protect her, her soul drank in his vow. She found a love that meant no pain, peace was hers somehow. But he had light as others had, it wasn't as she wished. His words and touch is now replaced, delivered by a fist, and her spirit cries.
Really nice, really terrific. What a great varied amount of work that you've done. It just comes to you naturally. You really enjoy it, don't you, Jean-Pierre?
Oh yeah, definitely. Man, it was very powerful. The in particular the Dark Harbor commercials, because that was right after I did Ford versus Ferrari, and I worked just on weekends while I was shooting the movie Monday through Friday at Dark Harbor. I was really surprised because I got hired for Dark Harbor, which is a Halloween event. I play one of the main characters, Samuel the Savage. You saw in the little clip there, and yeah, I was watching YouTube. They didn't tell me the commercial had released. I was watching YouTube, and I'm sitting there, I'm watching a video, and the commercial pops up, and I see my face, and I couldn't describe the feeling, especially after being abused for so long, being made to believe I couldn't achieve those things, and to achieve it on my own after quitting my day job and doing all this. I mean, I teared up, and I was just like, wow, I just saw myself on a commercial, like I'm really getting to a place. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. It's a great feeling. And every time I'm on a set, every time I'm performing or doing something, it feels right. And I love it. So
Yeah, lots of love coming through the airwaves here. Yeah.
You guys, I see the comments. Thank you so much. Yes, Michael Jackson's great. Paranormal Rap album. Yes, I'm very excited about that in particular. It's going to be very legit.
Nice work. Jean-Pierre has had an interesting journey, very interesting interview. Well said. What you said earlier, forgiveness is important and create space for love. Absolutely.
100%. We need more love.
We really, really do. Great interview with Jean-Pierre. And yeah, a lot of wonderful comments coming in here from literally all around the world, which is wonderful. I also want to show them your musical prowess as well, and comedy too, because we got a little stand-up here for everybody to enjoy, and then it goes into a little rap as well. So we're gonna check that out right now and share it with everybody. And again, it's so awesome to have you here and to hear your story and to share your talent with us here on the show as well. My new friend, when I come out to the LA area, we'll have to break bread and get together and compare notes, Jean-Pierre. That would be great to do that.
If I come out your way, well, I'll do the same.
Yes, when you come out to visit us on the East Coast, that would be awesome. So here is our great friend Jean-Pierre on stage, and here we go, and enjoy, everybody.
Right now is somebody who's been here at the Improv and on Haunted History. Ladies, please give a big round of welcome for Jean-Pierre!
How's it going, guys? Thanks for coming out tonight. I know it's a Wednesday night, a weeknight. Y'all got work and other things to do. So I'm happy you guys came out. 4th of July just passed, right? Independence Day, right? That's where we celebrate all the freedoms that we used to have in this country. It's pretty great. That's why I love the Force so much.
Like, Disney does not do a good job of, like, hiding who works there. Like, you know, they dress us up in sparkly shit, like, you can't miss us. But guests will still come up to you and be like, "Excuse me, sir, do you work here?" "No, I dress up like a gay spaceman every day and wear my name tag and come to Disneyland." Like, seriously? Serious? That's the kind of stuff we get.
If you don't believe me, look it up, guys. Look up the Brothers Grimm, look up fairy tales. Disney did not invent these. What he simply did was take all these and make little happy endings and stuff. And I personally think he's done more damage to society than good. Because, I mean, now women have this false hope that there's some prince out there, and he has a magic slipper, and when he puts it on your foot, it's going to fit perfectly. You're going to get married and live happily ever after. I'm not saying he was wrong, but he wasn't right either. Like, I'm a guy, I know how guys think. Let me tell you, ladies, how it really goes. Okay, there are guys out there, and they are looking for you, and, well, they definitely have something they'd like to fit. And they do expect a happy ending. I'll leave it at that. That's all I gotta say about that.
But I am trying to work hard and get another job. You know, as I said, I'm a college graduate. I'm looking around. All I can find is internships. Now, if you guys don't know what an internship is, that's where you work for a company, but they don't pay you. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but we did this back in our history, except back then they called it slavery. So, I don't know if it's just me. I'm kind of like a conspiracy theorist, right? So, like, this brings up really big fears for me and, like, my children's future. I have this very big fear that my children are going to be sitting in history class, and the teacher's going to tell them that in early U.S. history, we were very generous, and we gave blacks literally thousands of internships, where they had a chance to learn and grow and get some experience out in the field.
So if I could personify Disney in any way, it would really be like Mickey Mouse is a gangster rapper, so like a Dr. Dre beat. You know, as a matter of fact, I'm going to show you what that would look like. DJ, spin that. Oh, yeah! Come on, rip this shit! Come on, rip it. Now, check. 1, 2, 3, here we go. It's the number one pop. And then you haven't stopped. I'm going to get old in your mind and your mouth. And you know what I'm talking about. Get shown in the heart of your mouth. I can see your mouth. It's from your account. Don't keep it about. I'm the king, making kings proud. I'm the king, cities and towns. Well, you know I ain't playing around when I say that I'm holding it down. I'm the boss, the one that's in charge. I'm living large, living hard, working hard. And when I get thirsty, I go look for me and I sliver the meat.
So that's a little Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, a little Mickey Mouse rap that I came up with.
Are you able to do a lot of impressions of people and characters as well in your rap, or just in life, just impressions of people generally?
I do it generally, but I've auditioned for America's Got Talent. I even lost track of times doing different things. Like I've rapped as different, a ton of my impressions, auditioning for America's Got Talent out here in Los Angeles a lot.
What was that like?
I mean, I got a lot of good reactions, but sometimes I get like weird reactions. I don't know what it is, if it's a male thing or what, but one year in particular when I auditioned for America's Got Talent, I went through the first round. It was a female producer or whatever for the show. She loved it, and she said, okay, there's like this secret second round that not everybody gets to, but I thought that was so clever. I'm going to send you through this second secret round. Like, you know, don't say anything, but like you're going to the secret round. I was like, okay, cool. And she's like, if I have any advice, just be a little more animated, move around a little more. But other than that, like, you're great. It was hilarious. And that year I did Baby Got Back, that song, that popular song, but I did it as Christopher Walken, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mickey Mouse, and like Kermit the Frog. And I like switched my impressions just back to back, rapping out most of the song. So I went and I did that for these other, like a whole panel of producers for the show. And again, I had this really weird experience. Thank you very much, Austin Field. I see your comment. Sorry, I just wanted to acknowledge that really quick. So I did my thing, and there was a couple of female producers, a couple of male producers. The female producers are like, you are very funny. And the male producers are like, that's a different way to do impressions. And just kind of seemed very unimpressed. And it definitely hurt a little bit because I felt like I put so much into practicing that routine. I created it just for that particular audition. And it's just like, you know what? Maybe this is not meant for me. I have a bigger stage that I have to perform on. So it didn't work out, but I didn't let it get me down. I've gone back and auditioned multiple times, and I'm just going after my dreams. So it's you got to just keep trucking away at it,
What is some of, when you look at all of this work that you're doing, and you have so much more to share with all of us, as you go along in your career, Jean-Pierre, I mean, an amazing story, very inspiring story from the early years when you were younger and how you were able to break through and then share the essence of who you are, which is a beautiful thing. Not everybody always gets a chance in life to be able to do that. And when we get to do work that we love and that reflects who we are and the authenticity of who we are, people really respond to that because they want authenticity. They want relatability. They want levity, and they want the load lifted. And we've been through some tough times just in recent months where the load being lifted is a really essential thing. What are some of the things that bring you the greatest joy and blessing in all of this work that you've done thus far, Jean-Pierre, but that you continue to do for all of us?
I mean, for me, I think it's really fulfillment. I think all the years that I wasn't able to express myself in the home because of the environment is learning who I am as a person. Because to be honest and completely honest, about 2 years ago, I was still a very different person than I am now. What I say is I had a survivor's level facade where you could see my essence was there, but I didn't express that essence very much. And now I'm just open about who I am, everything, the good and the bad, and I try to push that out. So I think that's really, I feel fulfilled. I don't know how to describe it, but when I perform, I feel more alive than I ever do. When I'm on a set and I'm acting, I just feel very alive. I feel very aware. I feel very in the zone. And don't use the perfect word, authentic. I feel like I'm being my authentic self when I'm doing these things. It's just a part of me. It's natural.
Mm-hmm. what would you like to do? What's on the bucket list in terms of things that you haven't done yet? Because you have quite a few, titles under your name. Is there any dream gig or dream person you'd like to work with, or anything that you see that you're still chasing?
Yeah, I think I have constant goals really with what I do. The attainable goal is to make it my full-time career, and this is what I do, and that's it. I think that's really the ultimate goal. As far as like mini projects within that, touring musically more than just local, because I toured locally, but I'd really like to tour outside the United States, even worldwide, if I could, to be honest. I want to see more and learn more. I think you do that by meeting other people all over the world. So I think expanding that and going beyond local and going worldwide and just exposing that positivity and my authenticity and who I am to a bigger audience. So I think there's like a lot of little goals within making it my career. But even with that being said, if I could just do what I love and even do it locally, I would still be the happiest person in the world, just to be able to do what I love and live my passion.
Is there anything you're working on now and have been working on through all of this, homebound, stay-at-home social distancing we've had to experience? Anything that you're working on and excited about that's coming up soon, hopefully?
Definitely. I have quite a few things, so it's not just one or two. Again, I got 3 albums in the pipeline.
Right.
Pretty much that's ready to go that I'm probably going to release in the fall and release a single on July 7th on my birthday, which is a very powerful song about the loss of life and gun violence. It's very, it's a very deep song that I think expresses the current state of the world, but in a very positive way that people connect with. And I've already gotten very good responses from the demo version I have.
That's great.
So that's a big one. The paranormal album is also very big for me because it's something, again, I think it's a project nobody has undertaken. And I think it's going to be something that really stands out in the music industry. And besides that, I have some films and other projects, TV shows, and things that were put on hold because of the pandemic that'll be starting back up, hopefully in the fall. They've lifted some of the restrictions on filming. So, that it looks like we're getting closer and closer to maybe getting back to a little bit of normalcy in the industry by the fall. And I should be able to get back in and on set and filming again, which I'm very excited about. And also, whenever that's lifted, again, I have it's kind of an audition in Florida with this comedian I met. And but I'm going to get paid to go out there and do my stand-up comedy. And if that goes well, I'm going to be put on tour out there and in Georgia, where this guy has a lot of connections and does his comedy stuff. So those are the biggest things in the pipeline right now. And I'm still just working on all my projects as well.
Renee and Iowa says, happy early birthday.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
And Ernestine in North Carolina says, need to have a career that you enjoy doing. Absolutely. 100%. Absolutely. Well, I want to toast you, my friend. We'll give you a pre-happy birthday. And somebody that also has been enjoying this conversation, especially the comedy part, of course, is Mr. George Burns. George Burns in the house.
Right there, George Burns.
You can't go wrong with George Burns. So a toast to you, my friend. And it was a pleasure having you on the show.
Water, so I'll toast with that.
Yeah, we'll toast, clang. We always do a toast on the Jim Masters show. A phenomenal story, and we wish you continued success. And thanks for sharing it all with us, Jean-Pierre. You're a real inspiration. I love having people that are sources of inspiration because I'm all about that, the light, the levity, the love, or the lovity, as we call it. And I really appreciate your taking time to be so open about your life and your story. And of course, not just the accomplishments and all the typical things that people would, share during a conversation, but also be open about the early years and the triumphs that you've been able to experience by looking forward, by being positive, by saying, no, I'm not going to take no for an answer. I'm just going to go through because I have something to say, something to share. And I want to be happy, and I want to be content, and I want to be surrounded by love, and I want to share love and joy and happiness, and I want to experience it myself as I'm giving it to others. And that's a beautiful thing, and you're doing just that. So we toast to you, my friend.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it, and your fans are all wonderful. Thank you so much for the beautiful words, your kindness, your appreciation of my talents and my art. So thank you everybody as well for your comments and watching. I appreciate it.
We thank you, my friend. You are amazing, and so happy to have you here. And again, we will get together and we will break bread when you're on the East Coast or I'm on the West Coast, or if we end up in Denver or somewhere in the middle. Who knows? You never know. In our crazy industries, you never know where we end up, right?
It's true. It's really weird, especially because we connect because we both do so much in the entertainment industry. There's always some point you run into the people you communicate with. It's really strange how that works, but yeah.
and sometimes we end up on the same set or the same project or the same you never know what happens, right? You end up working with people you worked with years ago or for the first time. And Margie says, "Thank you, Jean. We love you." So that's
hey, Margie. Love back to you. Thank you so much.
All right. You take care. Thanks for spending this amount of time with us. A nice, good hour of conversation. Really appreciate it. And you're welcome back anytime, my friend.
Definitely. We'll be in touch. Peace and love to everybody. Thank you for having me. And let's go forward, guys. Let's keep living our dreams and living life to the fullest.
What's the website so they can check it out on the web?
Oh, yeah. If you guys want to check out my stuff, my main website is www.mcpierre.com. That's the letter M, the letter C, PIERRE.com. That's my main site. If you want to find me on social media, my handle is @talentedid. That's talented with an extra ED. Because I do so much, I decided to make up my own word for myself. You know, it felt natural.
Yeah, that's the way I made up Levity. So you know what I mean? Yeah. You got to be creative. Jean-Pierre, a tip of the hat to you, my friend. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for all this amount of time you shared with us on the show. Tell your friends about the show. Love to have more people checking it out. It's a place for light, levity, and love. And you've been sharing that with us tonight. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me. Have a great night, everybody.
You too. Take care.
You too.
All right. And keep moving forward, my friend.
You
forward. Too. All right. Take care. Jean-Pierre, is he not amazing? I tell you, we have some really cool people who join us here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Certainly hope you enjoyed it. It was really a fascinating conversation. And again, he so open and so honest with all of us too, and sharing the essence of who he is and his incredible work, his body of work. Again, you can also go to his website if you would like to check out more samples of his work as well. If you're just joining us, I'm your host, Jim Masters. We're live worldwide on the Jim Masters Show Live. We're here every single night, 7 p.m. Eastern and 4 p.m. Pacific. And coming up, we're going to do our Viewer of the Week, which is really, really exciting. The Viewer of the Week. And if you're not sure what Viewer of the Week is, oh yeah, Marilyn says, thank you for sharing. Interesting. My pleasure and Jean-Pierre's pleasure as well. Wonderful to have my very special guest, Jean-Pierre Giangolo, here on the show. He's an actor. He's a comedian. He is a freestyle rapper. He's an impressionist and a parapsychologist as well. Very fascinating. Again, he opened up about his life and about some of the things that he experienced. And again, I hope maybe you were inspired by it as well. Again, he's known for his comedy. He's known for his acting chops. And living out in California, again, he's exposed to a lot of the inner workings of entertainment. And it was a pleasure having him on. And thank you very much, Jacqueline. In just a minute, we're going to announce our Viewer of the Week. What is the Viewer of the Week? Well, the Viewer of the Week is when we have an opportunity to celebrate somebody who watches the show, who loves the show, who's been sharing the links, who's been raving about the show, who's been inviting people to pop on the show, and who has been telling us that they love the show through messages and texting and Facebook messages and posts on the Facebook page, who've been sharing the links as well. And I'm excited. So we're going to get our glass. As we do, we toast you and you and you and you and you. We hope you're having a wonderful weekend wherever you are around the world. And again, some love and light, some levity is what it's all about. And again, tomorrow night, oh boy, what a guest we have tomorrow night. David Grand. He is a physician. We're going to talk about the brain. We're going to be talking about brain spotting. We're going to talk about, it's just really amazing. It's going to be a really cool in-depth show tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Something a little bit different. Like I said, this show is something different for everybody. It's going to be a really informative and educational show tomorrow night with Dr. David Grand. He is He's extraordinary, and he's all excited to be here tomorrow night. So get ready for a really inspiring and informative conversation, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific tomorrow. As far as our guest, I just want to see if the guest is there. I see the black, so that person isn't there yet. Hopefully the person will chime in. But I will say who the person is anyway. If you're just joining us, what is this all about? Well, the viewer of the week is when we celebrate somebody who's been watching for a while and who's been celebrating the show and telling everybody about it. And we have had several viewers of the week from all over the world. We've got Isigari from Barcelona, Spain, Christine Fairwood from Connecticut, and Kathleen Walker as well from New York City, and Marianne Kelly from New Jersey, and Martha Oliver Swartz from Michigan, and so many incredible people. And the torch being passed, Austin Field is our current viewer of the week. So we salute Austin Field. He's been a brilliant representative of Viewer of the Week here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Viewer of the Week, again, it's a very viewer-centric show. I love to have the viewers interacting with the program, entertainment, lifestyle, talk show series. So our Viewer of the Week, Austin Field, he is about to pass the baton to our next Viewer of the Week. We will check to see if that viewer is there. Almost. I see a head, but I hear the sound. I see a round circle. Soon as you get it hooked up with the video portion, we can get you on the show. So don't you love technology? Technology is really amazing. It's crazy. So while we wait for the viewer of the week to be announced, and we say congratulations, thanks for being such a faithful and loyal viewer and fan of the Jim Masters Show. We salute you, this viewer of the week. The viewer of the week is a real person. We just want to make sure that viewer of the week is there because the viewer of the week wanted to pop on. So how did you like the conversation we had with Jean-Pierre Giangolo? It was really fascinating, right? Especially the parapsychology part of it. That was really, really fascinating. And again, he's a real intuitive spirit and a high-level empath, and he's somebody that really has been able to turn his life around in such a positive, incredible way, which I think is amazing. He talked about the abuse he experienced in his younger years, and his father, who is also an entertainer, a known entertainer in California, also experienced some of that abuse. You know, that can be very trapping. That'll keep you locked in forever. And if you're not able to sort of come out of that, which he did, he was able to come out of that. That is really cool. So happy for him too. And to come out of it in a way where he just really has soared, right? You know what I mean? And again, hopefully that provides a source of inspiration for others who might be watching this live right now or might watch this in the archives. Again, you can see all of the episodes on the Jim Masters TV channel at YouTube. This is a very cool episode, but also inspiring as well. I'm going to check one more time. Oh, the viewer of the week disappeared. They're struggling. They're trying to, there's been some rough weather in the Northeast, violent storms, and it was a beautiful weekend, really beautiful, sunny and nice and gorgeous. But it was really, really rough as far as an hour or so ago with rain and wind and thunder and lightning. And I see just about there. You're about 90% there. No picture yet. We don't see the picture yet. But check your webcam. I know you've been celebrating with champagne and wine all day long because there's a birthday involved today. So check your webcam. It's the camera. It's the camera element. Yes, yeah. So you're there. So I think we get the audio. It's your camera is not working out. Yes, the guest is having tech issues on their end. Yes. Do you think it maybe is the paranormal? I mean, is this part of the paranormal? Do you see the guest there? Did you see the guest? Don't tell me that you saw her face because then Yeah, that's really cool stuff. And yes, Austin Field was our viewer of the week all week. So we salute him. He was a really good representative of the Jim Masters Show Live viewer of the week. We are just about there. We're just hanging out waiting for the viewer of the week who's been selected to sort of, I guess, complete the rest that they have to do. But tomorrow night, again, I'm going to tell you about something really, really cool. And tomorrow night, I'm going to tell you about, and I have some pictures of it too that I'll show you as we go along tomorrow night. But I was sent an extraordinary gift. And it's a gift of love as well. And while we were out on the coast, we wore it today, and it was terrific. It's a special, and I'll show you tomorrow, but I just want to give you a little taster or teaser of it as far as what we're going to be talking about tomorrow night. We've got a very special guest, David Grand, the doctor, who's going to be with us tomorrow. It's going to be really amazing. We're going to be talking about this thing called brain spotting. We're going to be talking about the brain and the mind and the mindset and so much more. It's going to be a brilliant show. But I was sent a really beautiful gift of this custom-made mask that was made by a renowned designer in New York City. And it's a mask, of course, that you wear now over your face during what we're experiencing now. And it's incredible. And I took pictures with it today as we were walking along the coast. And I'll probably post that under the Masters Mantras on Jim Masters TV. We'll share it on Facebook. We're also going to share it tomorrow night first. And I'm hoping to get the designer as a guest on the show just briefly to talk about the mask because it's for a very special cause. And he was gracious enough to send it to me. And we received it on Friday. And we debuted it this weekend when we were out and about along the coast. And really a beautiful thing when you get something like that. And I really appreciate this gift. So we're going to talk about it. I'll show it to you. We're going to debut it tomorrow night because, again, they're really beautiful masks. And they're all custom made by a designer and very beautifully done. It's specifically to help a cause. And we're going to talk about that tomorrow night. Congratulations to all. Yes, congratulations to Austin and to the viewer of the week who is trying and trying and trying. We've got just a couple minutes left and then we're going to wrap up the show. But hopefully that viewer of the week is going to try. Okay, it looks like they're going to give it one more shot. And then if they can't get through, we'll just announce the name. We'll hand that, Austin Field will hand that baton to the viewer of the week and they'll be good to go. In the meantime, all of your friends are here. I say to you, all of you are stars. I may be the host of the show and the star of the show, but you know what I think? I think you and you and you and you, all the way around. All of you guys are the stars. You're the star of the show. So I really appreciate you being here. Also, relax, breathe from the diaphragm. Love one another. Be good to one another. I say this on every show all the time. Be good to one another. I hope you were inspired by this story. You had some comedy, you had a little rap in there, and you also had an amazing story of an actor, a comedian, freestyle rapper, impressionist, and also parapsychologist too, Jean-Pierre Giangolo from California. So stars coming in from Willie. Good to see you. How's everybody doing? Stars coming in. Wonderful. Give you a little preview quickly while we're waiting for the guests, or not the guest, but the viewer of the week to pop in. Sean Wiley is going to be joining us from Under the Street Lamp, singer, choreographer, dancer, Under the Street Lamp, of course, multiple public television specials. Danny Bolero is going to be joining us here, brilliant actor and television, film, commercial actor. Cindy Williams is going to be joining us soon. Cindy Williams, of course, you know her as Shirley Feeney on Laverne and Shirley. Rita Cosby is going to be joining us, veteran television news network anchor, radio host, and more. Tuesday of this week, Lionel Ketchian, creator of the International Happiness Club, joining us Tuesday live this coming week. So that's going to be cool because, again, if you are looking to get your spirits lifted, he's going to be wonderful. I've known him for years, actually, and he's a good friend, and he's going to be inspiring us on Tuesday here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Also, yes, Scott Schwartz. Scott Schwartz is going to be with us as well. And that's really cool. You may remember him from Toy Story, and also not just Toy Story, but he was in Toy Story was with Jackie Gleason and Richard Pryor, of course, but he was in A Christmas Story. And that picture there is of him in that. And on the left, he was the kid in A Christmas Story that licked the pole and got his tongue stuck to the frigid pole. And there he is today. He's going to be joining us on the show, which is really, really cool. And Sean Kanan is going to be joining us. He's a very well-known actor. He was AJ Quartermain on General Hospital. He's going to be joining us as well soon, and a lot of other television projects. That's just a few of the incredible guests that are going to be joining us. Hey, I've got some good news. Our viewer of the week is here. So let's see who the viewer of the week is. Some comments and smiles and hearts and love coming in from Kathleen Walker. Another great show. You are very, very welcome. And it's time to celebrate as Austin Field hands over the baton after being a wonderful viewer of the week to our next viewer of the week, live and direct from New York City, June Rachelson Aspa. Congratulations. Good to have you with us and welcome. There you are. Can you hear us? Your photo is sort of frozen, although that's supposed to be a live stream. You've been celebrating because it's your birthday. So happy birthday to you, June. Obviously, the champagne has kicked in. We can sort of hear you. Before we heard you, didn't see you. Now we see you, and the hearing is a little oh, you're getting there. You're getting there. Click, 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 click.
I think it's the storm.
Could be the storms. And if you have any other screens or apps open on your computer, that interferes with the stream. So if you have other apps and screens that are open on the, if you have,
I'm on my phone.
Yeah, if you have Facebook on open on your phone, or Skype or Zoom or anything open on your phone, it will interfere with the audio and gives it that clicking, garbly sound. That's what we've learned. So hopefully,
I don't.
It sounds.
I have a drink.
Yeah, you've got your drink. And Anne in Southern California, thanks for all you do. My pleasure. And I'm so happy that you enjoy the show. Tell all your friends, share the links, Anne. Tell them, check out and subscribe to the Gym Masters YouTube channel, which is Gym Masters TV, and Facebook. Love to have more and more good friends here. And we say hello to you, and you are very, very welcome. So June, congratulations. It's your birthday. I was on with you earlier with our friends, and we celebrated your birthday earlier today. And we're celebrating your birthday today. So because it's your birthday and you've been such a loyal fan of the show, and even helping with the phone in certain ways, with the show, that is, in certain ways, I salute you. You've been having champagne since 11 this morning. I saw the size of the bottle. There she goes. Oh my God. Well, at least you got to see. Oh, there she is again. Oh, that's maybe a little better. Austin Field is handing the baton to you. She's in shock because you picked her. That's why you're like frozen right now. So you're in shock. Austin Field is watching. Thank you, Austin Field. We appreciate that. You're watching on YouTube. So you're in shock. And happy birthday, June, from Kathleen Walker. It's June's birthday, and she's the Gym Master Show Live official viewer of the week for the next week. There she is. I'm sure she's loving these shots of her, the freeze frames. Renee in Iowa wishes you a very happy birthday. We've got some great viewers from all around the world that watch the show, having a lot of fun. And what's in that glass? Is that still champagne? Can you see us? Wave if there's a pulse. Is there a pulse? That's a good shot. If you just stay like that, that would work. Well, you are the viewer of the week. The viewer of the week. Yeah, her photo. There's storms here in the Northeast. It's all clear here. it's actually quiet now. We had some violent storms earlier. We made sure that we, oh, I want to tell you, you know what? You're not going to believe what I'm having after the show. Ice cream. I know I've been saying that like every night, but we went out for ice cream to a local ice cream shop and I got some, but what I did, I was good. I got low fat coconut yogurt ice cream with just a little top. I should have shown it to you. A little sprinkle of graham cracker on top. This like little graham cracker on top of a low fat, not fat free, it's fat free, low fat coconut yogurt ice cream. And that's waiting for me. So anyway, I've been telling you, I've been having ice cream the last couple of nights, been craving ice cream since summer started. Happy birthday. Congrats. Karen says to you, June. So that's a cute smile. If you stay frozen like that, that is very Betty Boop-like, that shot. So our very special dear friend, June, you are our viewer of the week here on the Jim Masters Show. It's all we have are the smiles. There's no sound, but we have the smiles. But, your smile is enough to take care of the audio. So all your friends here, Jimmy and Silver, I tell you, what show does this? Let's see if we make the picture bigger, there you are. Yeah, June is speechless. Do we remember what happened to Isigari in Barcelona, Spain, when I made her viewer of the week? She loved it. She was praising. And then all of a sudden, the rest of the time, she was just speechless. She was just posting, but there were no words, just her name. Really, really funny. But they're all sending you love. You're a mime? Maybe you're a mime. That's a great shot. It's almost, we could have done this just with a photo. Congratulations. Happy birthday, June. Congratulations. Happy birthday. And I wish we could have everybody sing collectively for your birthday. But they're all saying happy birthday. And I know that it looks like your Wi-Fi. It's probably the Wi-Fi. There's so many people using Wi-Fi these days and using all the internet connections and cell phone that technology is acting a little wacky. Everything's good on this end, but your picture is freezing there. So we will say happy birthday to you, June, and congratulations for being viewer of the week. Letting everybody know we've got extraordinary guests Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week. That's right. And on Saturday, we've got some really cool people that are coming up. So make sure you tune in. And we'll be doing promo blasts on Facebook and YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. If you're not following at Jim Masters TV, I am there. Subscribe to the YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. I would absolutely love that. Love the Facebook page and share it with your friends. Tell folks who you think would really enjoy the show about the show, because we're growing. Monday, big time Monday. It'll be our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th week. 9 weeks of the Jim Masters Show live. So Austin Field passes the baton to June and says happy birthday to June as well. And Ann says, looking forward to your next show. It's going to be a great one with Dr. David Grand, Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. For you, I know it's 4 p.m. They're in SoCal, Ann, so we look forward to it. And have a watch party on Facebook, watch on YouTube. So good to have you with us, Ann. I appreciate you being with us all the time as well. So everybody, in 3, 2, 1, for our viewer of the week, we'll wish her happy birthday and sing happy birthday if we can as well. Although the allergies are sort of rough today because of the rain and everything. But here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear June. We love you. You're the best. We hope you have a wonderful day. You're our viewer of the week. Happy birthday to June. There you go, June. Just a little taste. Everybody wants me to sing on this show. We might. That's just a little warm up, a little taste with allergies and everything. Matter of fact, I need some more fresh. This is that iced tea lemonade mix. Not mix, but the combination of iced tea and lemonade. Very, very good. Have a great night from Kathleen. Great night from Jacqueline. Looking forward to the next show. Have a great night. You as well, Kathleen. And One more coming in. Happy birthday, June, from everybody. You sounded great, Jim. Thank you very much. I got to do a little more of that. Everybody keeps telling me. I used to sing in choir and in school. I'm an alto, which is really, really cool. So I'll share some more of that. Maybe we'll do a whole show of music. That would be cool. And maybe get some other folks and maybe sort of bring others in and do a whole show together. June, you look amazing. I know becoming viewer of the week has just swept you off your feet and you've been speechless, but we salute you. Thank you for all you do. We love you very much. And it is your birthday, so you just relax. You relax. You have a wonderful rest of your evening. I'm sure you've polished off that big bottle of champagne I saw earlier. Your friends here, George Burns, wishes you the best. He wishes you the best as well. And everybody does. We love you, June. Take care. You're viewer of the week. So hopefully you'll be able to speak during the course of the week at some sort. You look very regal in that shot. You're like, I'm viewer of the week. I am Queen June of Manhattan, New York City, and I am viewer of the week. You look like you should have a crown in that. Your Wi-Fi or whatever, your stream froze, and you're just right there like, I'm viewer of the week. We can't hear. There's no sound. Isn't this fun? I tell you, I put her in a, you put her in a vegetative state. I think so. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And we appreciate that. Yeah. Have a good night. Yeah. I think she likes that, Austin Field. I don't know, Austin Field. We may have to give you the viewer of the week for another week until we can hear her. Anyway, it's a great night, June. We love you. You're the best. Take care. We wanted to make sure we brought you on, so at least everybody knows you are the viewer of the week here on the Jim Masters Show. We thank our wonderful guest, Jean-Pierre Giangolo, Gianoli, that is, and Gianoli. That's how you say it. Jean-Pierre Gianoli. You're watching the Jim Masters Show live. We're getting ready to wrap up. Just want to remind you a couple of things, some house cleaning here. Thank you for sharing the links. We're on every single night, live 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific nightly, simulcasting on YouTube and Facebook at Jim Masters TV. In addition to all of that, feel free to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Facebook fan page, Jim Masters TV. And June has disappeared, but we got her in there. And if you'd like to see past episodes of our series, feel free to do that. Just go to the YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV and you see all the guests, 9 weeks of shows, just about 9 weeks of shows, 9 weeks as of tomorrow. And as always, we say thank you very much for watching. It's wonderful to have you here, and it's beautiful to have you here. And I think another comment came in here, just a couple more. And let's see. Everyone have a blessed week. Have a blessed week. We thank you very, very much. You guys, you take care. You're the best. We love having you here on the show. We're going to be back Monday night with a great guest, Dr. David Grand. He is extraordinary, and it's going to be an inspiring show about the brain and so much more. We're going to delve in deep, and it's going to be a really cool show, something really different, something very informative that impacts all our lives. So this is Jim Masters thanking you for your time this time. Till next time. Thank you again to Jean-Pierre, our wonderful guest who joined us here on the show this evening. Thank you for watching all around the world. Congratulations to June Aspa for being viewer of the week. We wish her well and very happy birthday and good night, everyone, to you and in Southern California. So for all of us here at the Jim Masters Show, thanking you for your time this time. Till next time, this is your host, Jim Masters. We'll see you again. Have a good day, a good night. We'll see you Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, right here. I'll be here, and I hope you are too. Take care, everybody. We'll see you again on the Jim Masters Show live. Take care for now. Bye-bye.